Where am I? And who are you? You're on... Wait a minute. How the fuck are you speaking English? With all apologies to SETI and to every other agency and individual who've been working toward this moment for God knows how many decades, that was exactly how first contact with extraterrestrial intelligence went down. In my defense, I did not set out that night with the intention of bungling our first meeting with our friends from beyond the stars. Meeting a real live alien wasn't the last thing I expected, because I had not been expecting it at all. Perhaps some clarification is in order. This happened some time ago, can't remember the exact date. It was midsummer of 2043, and the entire amateur astronomer community of North America, which I happened to be part of at the time, was abuzz about a hyperbolic comet bound to pass very close to Earth, close enough to put some of our satellites in danger. I just happened to live in an area where the view was supposed to be a literal once-in-a-lifetime experience. Of course, I had to gather my gear and head out into the middle of nowhere to catch the comet. Doing anything else would have been madness. I had set aside my whole weekend for it, cancelled all my other plans, pissed off my friends a little. I had no doubt it would be worth it. That was how I wound up in a godforsaken dirt patch amid the foothills of the Rockies, and how I stumbled as first into the single most important moment in human history. The stargazing trip went great at first. Ate a lot of prepackaged meals, listened to nature's majestic choir of birds and beasts tweeting and bleating, and got a simply breathtaking view of the comet. Or the trail of comets, as it seemed at the time. What initially seemed like one object turned out to be a loosely associated field, all heading in roughly the same direction. I have pictures of it. Spectacular pictures, but nothing that would have indicated its true nature. At least, not yet. One of those chunks was getting closer. It happened so gradually over the course of 2 days. I didn't notice until it was burning a streak across the sky, bearing down on my exact location at several times the speed of sound. My deer-in-the-headlights moment was mercifully short, or else I wouldn't be here. I scrambled for whatever cover I could find, which wasn't much. I cowered behind a pair of scraggly pine saplings, and waited for what somehow felt like a fraction of a second, and several hours. The Meteor was perfectly silent, until it wasn't. Then it was deafening. The ground shook, the blast pressed the air from my lungs, and pieces of burning earth, gravel, and mulched vegetables rained all around. I honestly don't know how I survived the impact, let alone how I got away with only scratches and scrapes. There are no words to describe the sheer incredibility of the thing that I found in that crater. It defied all reason. Indeed, from the moment I stumbled over the still sizzling crater rim, nothing would ever make sense again. Sitting in the center of the crater, like something out of a cheesy 20th century sci-fi movie, was a perfectly smooth, blindingly white, egg-shaped orb. I didn't know what I expected to find there. Probably nothing, or maybe a few weird-looking rocks. Nothing could have prepared me for that. Except all those aforementioned cheesy 20th century sci-fi movies. I probably should have ran. I knew that at the time. In moments of extreme stress, we're often reduced to our bare instincts. The mind short-circuits, and whatever plans you think you had, whatever kind of person you thought you were, it all goes out the window. Except, this wasn't that. My thoughts were crystal clear. I remember thinking about running, and knowing this was the moment where the curiosity of the dumb horror movie character gets them killed by whatever awful thing awaited in that orb. I also remember saying, to hell with it, and letting curiosity win. I approached the orb, and it slowly opened up, in exactly the way one would have expected from the movies. White light, hissing, mist, the whole 9 yards. When the light dimmed and the mist cleared, slumped there in front of me was a young woman? She wasn't human, but she was also very obviously a she. For whatever reason, the orb's passenger wasn't wearing any clothes, and there were some remarkable anatomical similarities. Convergent evolution, I guess, like how woodlice and pill millipedes look so alike, or how a bunch of things turned into crabs. But then why wasn't she a crab? To this day, I still don't have the answer. She was almost exactly the sort of humanoid alien we'd all been taught to expect. An almost exact parallel of body design, except for the complete lack of hair, the wicked claws on each 3-digit limb, the dazzling scales reminiscent of a blue pit viper, and huge, lidless reptilian eyes, staring into space with a vacant, glassy gaze. I froze. My reserve of calm collectedness was entirely spent, and in that moment I was about as conscious and coherent as the naked alien suspended in its cheesy sci-fi orb. Something stirred. It's hard to explain, but I just knew she was awake now. Something in her eyes, maybe, or a subtle shift of the muscles under her skin. She coughed and spluttered, flexed her jaw in a disturbingly reptilian way, and a few moments later coherent words came out. Shh. Where am I? And who are you? You're, wait a minute. How the fuck are you speaking English? No. What? No, I'm not. Oh, yeah, right. Translation software. It takes whatever the local language is and downloads it into my brain without anyone noticing. Sounds invasive, and also like an extreme security threat to your own brain. At this point I think I had gone beyond the edge of hysteria, when the insane shit may as well be normal. I was talking to an alien about the crazy alien technology that allowed me to talk to an alien. Sure, that may as well happen. Let's roll with it. It is. That's why so very few of us opt to use it, she answered. I suppose we're both lucky you were one of those few, then. I guess. So are you going to answer my question? She demanded. What? Where am I? And who are you? Planet Earth, Western Canada, and nobody important. Oh, shit. She sounded defeated. So, who are you, then? I asked hesitantly. I wasn't sure if she was about to blast me with a ray gun or burst into distinctly non-reptilian tears. I was just trying to keep the conversation going because I had no idea what else to do. My designation was Psi-2268 Reserve EVA Technician, so I am also nobody important. You would think it'd be hard to read the emotions on an immobile, expressionless face. Turns out it wasn't difficult. Anyways, you said you're speaking to me with some sort of translation software? So that must mean your people have been aware of us and must have access to a database of our language, no? She hesitated. Not my area of expertise, but that does sound likely. Your planet Earth isn't ringing any bells, even for my AI personality, but it's true our people used to get around. That used to? Sounds like it's implying a lot, I said. It is. More than is appropriate to discuss, lying naked in a crater in the middle of nowhere. I guess, she shrugged. Apparently a universal gesture. Then maybe if you're up for it, I could get you some clothes and find a place for you to stay for now. Maybe even get you something to eat, if earthling food isn't poison to you or something like that. And then we can discuss whatever needs discussing. She looked sheepish, if anything, which was a strange way to describe the demeanor of something. I'm pretty sure descended from some kind of space snake. All right. Guess I have nothing more to lose. But are you sure you are fine with inviting a strange alien woman into your home? I filed away the implications of that last sentence for later, and returned her shrug.